Hello everybody, it's your favorite West Virginia on Space here, and one of the few things that all people can relate to is being a kid once. As you must of course grow from a child to an adult, we can all relate to some of the idiot things we did as children. But one of the ones that's almost universal is the trying to dig a hole to China. And honestly, even I did that, although I was often digging for dinosaur fossils, didn't find any. But, is that, well, can it be done? Sure, it's often seen as the realm of childhood fantasy, but is it possible to dig a hole in your backyard straight to China? Well, let's get into that. Our first problem is actually going to be a relatively basic one, as dumb as it sounds, is that usually the joke or the idea goes we dig a hole straight down from your backyard to China. The only problem is, unless you grow up in like Argentina or vaguely around that area, like in the south part of South America, the opposite side of the earth isn't China to you. In fact, for example, if you're an American or grew up in America, if you dig a hole straight in your house to the other side of the earth, you would land up in the Indian Ocean. So naturally, to perform this plan correctly, we're either going to have to make some kind of directional change once we get to the center, or we're going to have to start in South America. And either one of these is doable, especially, but ultimately that is the first complication we're going to have to get through. It won't be a straight shot likely. Another problem would be the sheer amount of Earth you would have to move. Like, the Earth is about 7,617 million miles wide. In order to dig a hole from one end of it to the other, you're going to have to dig through all of that. That little pile of dirt you make after digging a hole, yeah, you're going to be building mountains. So, yeah, that's going to be difficult. Another problem will actually be the logistics of gravity, funny enough, is that due to how funny gravity works, it's probably likely that if you were to somehow get into the center, there would be no gravity. So you would have to then orient yourself to make sure that you actually go where you want to or go anywhere at all when you dig. Although this could potentially get past the problem of, the country not being on the opposite end of China, is that you could then re-angle yourself later. Also, it goes without saying, but people underestimate it. The center of the Earth is very, very, very hot. Like surface of the sun hot or worse. And the pressure is unbearable. Just look up what happened to some of the deepest mines ever dug by humanity, and that's just a fraction of what you'd be dealing with. You would need some super strong metals, material, and just who knows what, probably new advanced technology to be able to effectively build something to go down to the center of the Earth, pop back out, and then not kill anyone who goes in there. So, also, it's just, do you understand the effort of manpower this would take? How many people, machines would have to be used in this construction? It would be insane. Not to mention, we don't know what would happen if the center of the Earth had, 1 to 2 massive holes poking through it, so we don't really know what that would do. So ultimately, with all these considerations, it just isn't possible, is it? Well, don't give up so quickly. You see, if little toddler you, instead of playing with toy shovels, worked on their engineering degree, then you would have another option available to you. More specifically, dig down and create a tunnel to China, and then build a train in it. This would actually work to a degree, at least in theory, as we have other similar examples, like the one that connects London to France. Now, this, of course, this would be much, much bigger, but the design principles still work. Of course, it doesn't go through the center of the Earth, but it does technically fulfill the requirements of the original idea. Dig a hole from your backyard to China. Granted, this hole then immediately takes a slope and then, would be a massive construction project, the biggest train line to probably ever exist, I imagine. And it would, of course, be very complicated and still be costly, but at least it would be possible under our realm of physics. So, is it possible to dig a hole from your backyard to China? Well, in the traditional way of just going straight to the Earth, no, not really. Not probably, at least. But if you're willing to get a bit more creative and have a use for trains, then it is possible. Of course, it would also be one of the biggest construction works ever done by mankind, but hey, don't let that stop you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Yeah? Hey, why don't you hit that sub button? You're gonna become a subscribble. Get to see my content quicker. Wouldn't that be nice? I bet so.